Good morning, River Lighting. Here I am in the art room today doing a chair yoga class. Today's yoga class is just going to be in the chair. We're not going to get up out of the chair at all today. So for those of you that really just prefer to be in the chair the whole time, this class is for you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're sitting with our feet solidly on the floor, toes are forward, and we're sitting up nice and tall with our hips, shoulders, and ears in line. Let's take a moment and breathe. So close your eyes if that's helpful. And we're going to breathe all the way down into the belly. So try not to breathe just that shallow breathing, but get it all the way down into the belly with a deep breath. Relaxing through that body. Bringing your focus into the room and letting everything go for this next 30 minutes, not worrying about any of those outward things, just focusing on our body and feeling good. Let's open up our eyes. We'll take a big deep breath, inhale and open and lift. For some of us, it doesn't feel good to lift anymore, so do what feels good for you. Maybe we inhale and we lift forward or reach forward instead of up. One more time. And then let's bring those arms all the way down. Now I need to scoot forward a little bit, and maybe you do too, because the arms are in this chair, so I can roll my shoulders and not hit the arms on that chair. So roll those shoulders. A nice way to start right here. So we're going to bring them up, back, and down, and I want you to push your hands towards the floor. Good. And bring one ear over to the side. We're going to start right up from the top today. And bring that head up. Let's do that other side. Now notice my hands are flexed as I push down towards the floor. And lift it up. Now keeping those shoulders up, back, and down, the shoulder blades feel like they're tucked in your back pocket. Bring your chin down towards your chest right here. Good. Oh, and then let's shake our head like we're looking for that elusive napkin. Never can find it right when you need it. There, so shaking it side to side, stretching through the back of the neck. The palms are still flexed, and I know those muscles are getting tired, so we'll stop. All right here before we all get dizzy. Let's bring it up. Let's bring those hands right to the thigh. Simplest neck stretch we can do. Remember, sit up tall, shoulders are down. We're going to just shake our head side to side. Good. So the body stays forward here. We're just moving through the neck. And then bring it right back to the center, and still sitting tall, shoulder blades tucked down. And this time we're going to nod our head like we're saying yes to extra ice cream. Ooh, doesn't that sound good? Maybe we ate a little less for dinner so that we could have another scoop. And then let's bring that head right up. Let's take those legs, bring them a little wider, so we're sitting up nice and tall. We're at the edge of our chair, especially if you have the arms in your chair. And we're going to anchor on that right side and reach the left side across the body, as though I'm trying to reach for the top of a nightstand. Maybe I'm going to grab, or maybe a shelf or something. I'm going to grab something from that shelf, so I'm really reaching. Good. Now the spine stays straight from your hips, your shoulders, and your ears, and we're looking at that hand. Good. Now I want you to keep that extension and bring that arm down and just let it hang there just a little bit. Feel that stretch right through that shoulder. This is, believe it or not, a little reset of the shoulder. It kind of helps bring everything back in line. Good. Now let's take that hand again and reach it out. Keep looking in that direction, but bring that arm back. Like you took something from the shelf and you handed it to someone, but you were previously engaged in a conversation, and so you stayed looking forward. Good, and then reach it back again. Oh, big stretch. Good, now watching the knee, we're going to take that arm and we're going to make a big circle. Circle through that shoulder. Good, and reverse it. So we're still leaning. Our posture is still long and proud through the spine. Ears and shoulders are still in line. Last reach right here. Reach it out. Big reach. Good. Are you ready to sit up? Let's sit up. Watch your hand. We're going to bring it all the way up. If you can't do up, we can do out. And twisting this time from the torso. So I'm not just moving my head here. I'm moving the torso. torso with it. And then let's bring that all to the center. So let's reset just a little bit. So little cat and cow helps us reset in the middle. So nice wide legs still. We're gonna curl and then inhale and lift and curl and inhale and lift and curl and inhale and lift one more time. And last one right there. Good. Now bring everything back to neutral. Good. And then let's anchor here again. Here we go. We reach it to the side. Big stretch. Good. Feel that reach. It's like I'm really extending, trying to get whatever that is on that shelf. Maybe it's the phone and it's ringing and I'm trying to get it without getting up off the chair. Good. And then still looking that way, we're going to take that arm, we're going to reach it back. Like we're handing someone something. And then we reach it forward again, and this time we're going to let it hang. Relax through that shoulder, but this chest is still forward, the spine is still straight. Good, and we're going to let that kind of make a little circle all on its own, letting the heaviness of the arm just kind of weigh it down. Good, now let's reach again. So reach it out. Good, this time we're going to make that circle, watch that other knee, keeping that arm as straight as you can. I have a bit of an impingement on this side, and I've noticed that this side doesn't circle as well as the other. And you might have something similar. And then circle the other way. It's kind of natural and normal for us to be one-sided, especially if we're extremely right-sided or extremely left-sided, right? Then we have differences in the way things are. Last time, reach it out and reach it up and over, twisting the body with it, looking behind. Good, and bring it all the way back to the center. Let's do that cat and cow again. So curl through that spine and inhale and lift. Good, curl and inhale and lift. And inhale and lift one more time. All right, now bring it back to that neutral spine. Tuck those shoulder blades back down. Let's walk those feet in right here. And we're just going to do a little knee lift right here, little knee lift. Good. Anytime we lift our knees up towards our chest or towards our belly, we're using some tummy muscles there, some abdominal muscles. Good. And we're stretching the back. Think about that. When you lift that leg, you have to stretch some things in the back as well. Good. All right. On this next one, let's hold it up. So right here, let's hold it up here, and let's lean back and bring our back onto that chair. Good. Adjust as you need to, because maybe your chair isn't like mine and it's just the perfect length back there. Maybe you feel too forward, so scoot back if you need to. So I'm holding on behind the leg, so holding on by the thigh, not in front of the knee. And we're just going to kick that leg out and we're going to bring it in. Kick it out and bring it in. Kick it out and bring it in. Good. So we're going to tickle right there. Tickly hair in my face. All right, here we go. Let's lift that leg right here. Point and flex that foot. Point and flex that foot. Oh, feel that stretch in that leg. And the leg gets heavy, I know it. And you don't have to have your leg real high either. I want you to feel the stretch. This is where I feel a stretch on this side. So let's roll that ankle. And then roll the other way. Good. Now let's bring that leg in again. Push your chest a little bit forward this time. See if you can get it a little closer than before. Good. All right. So let's take the leg that's on the floor and bring it out just a little bit so it's a little longer, so the knee's not at that 90-degree angle. And we're going to cross it over here as though we were sitting and we were maybe watching a show and we're just kind of sitting there casually, right? Some of us can't cross here, so we're going to cross at the ankle because we've had hip surgeries or hip injuries and we can't do that anymore. So we're going to cross it right here. Hands come to either the base of the chair or the arms of your chair. And we're going to push ourselves up. Good. So notice how the longer angle gives you a little bit of grace in the hip on the other side. So for those of you that need the deeper stretch, we're gonna go ahead and pull that foot back so now you do have that 90-degree bend in the knee. And if it doesn't feel good, option is to bring it out or cross it at the feet. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Take your top foot, we're gonna flex that foot backward. We're gonna inhale and keeping everything straight from the hips, shoulders, and ears, and bring it forward. So what I don't want is this kind of concave thing, because that's not good for your spine. It's not good for the discs in your spine. Good, so we're leaning forward just that little bit. And breathe, make sure you're breathing a nice big deep breath. And now let's sit up nice and tall. And I want you to go ahead and just put a little pressure pushing down towards the floor there. And I'm going to take my chest and I'm going to turn it towards that knee and lean forward. Ow, right? For some of us, that's a big stretch. Some of us maybe feel tippy, so we want to hold on either at the base of the chair or the arm of the chair. And we're pushing that chest forward. Feel that stretch in the hip. It's a nice piriformis stretch. And then let's bring it all the way up. Let's rock that leg just a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more into the side muscles here in a moment. So we're kind of working our way down a little bit, but we're going to come back and visit those side muscles in a moment. We'll isolate those. So let's take that leg and let's sit up nice and tall. So that leg that we were just working with, let's just kick it out a little bit. Let it just rock right from the knee, toes are forward, so that knee tracks just the way it's supposed to. Good, now let's put that foot down. We have to do that whole thing on the other side. So we're forward in the chair, we scoot back just a little bit and put our back on the chair, lift your chest so it keeps your spine straight. Good, we're hugging that leg in and you hug the leg into where you're comfortable. All right, now we're going to kick that leg out and stretch it out. Oh, good. Try to stretch it out. Good. Get everything moving. Get some oil in those joints. And then let's hold it right here, point and flex. Point and flex. Good. Movement is lubrication in the joints, so it's so important to move. Good. Even with osteoporosis, movement, controlled movement is so important. And roll the other way. All right, and then let's hug that back in. Feel that stretch all the way to the upper part of your back. Good. All right, now let's elongate the leg that's on the floor, that right leg. And for those of you that can't cross over here, cross at the ankle, right? We can cross right here, it's still open to the side. Otherwise, we're gonna cross it here. You're gonna grab those arms or the base of your chair, sit up nice and tall. We can stay here with a longer leg, or we can lift it right here, flexing that foot, sitting up nice and tall. And then, oh boy, maybe one side's tighter. We're leaning forward just a little bit, feeling that stretch all the way in the hip. Good, and breathing. Make sure we're breathing. Nice big deep breaths. Let's come up and we're going to turn towards that knee. We're going to put that gentle pressure, still keeping the spine nice and tall. We're just going to lean forward and feel that stretch. Good. So you feel that when you lean forward on that diagonal, you should really feel the stretch a little bit more inside the hip, if you will. And then let's bring it all the way up and bring that foot back in. Bring it all the way down, sit up tall, let's kick it out. Make sure that toe is forward so that knee tracks in a proper manner. It's so important for that knee to track right straight on. Good, all right, so we've gotten through those legs. Let's work a little bit on those feet. So we're gonna lock in our knees and we're gonna roll that ankle out. Good. So when I put in the knee locks, what does that do? It means that my knees stay where they are and I'm not doing this. right? So lock that knee, just do the ankle. Good. Flexible ankles are important for walking. They're important for balance. Good. One more right here. Good. And then put that foot down, so roll that ankle. Good. So we put our toe on the floor and we just make a little circle. And then roll the other way. And this is more of a weight-assisted ankle roll than what we do when our feet are off the floor. All right, let's put that foot on the floor, do the other side. Oh, sorry. And roll the other way. All right, now put that foot on the floor, scoot yourself forward, and we're going to sit side saddle in the chair. So, and again, you know, it's not common for me to have arms in a chair, so it's a good thing because we can modify this together. So being careful of that chair arm on both sides, I'm going to make sure that I'm not too far forward that I'm going to tumble off, right? And I can use that arm in the chair for stability and support. So sitting here, I can stay right where I am here with the knee right down towards the floor, right out of my hip. Or if I have the flexibility, or if you have the flexibility, we could pull that hip back just a little bit. A bend in the knee if you want to. Now let's face it forward, and keeping the head right above the shoulders, we're going to inhale and lift that outside arm up. Good, so lift it up and reach it up to the sky. Good. Now let's reach it forward. And that chair arm is a nice anchor, or the base of the chair is a nice anchor, or the back of the chair. One of those things, brace yourself. Good, now we're going to inhale, keep looking forward, a small back bend here. Feel yourself shift your hips back just a little bit, getting that nice stretch in that hip flexor. Good. Now bring yourself so that you're nice and tall, straight posture, and we're going to open to the center, let that arm come up, and here we are in a warrior two position. So we went from warrior one in the chair to warrior two in the chair. Even though we didn't really label it, that's what we're doing. Good, now bring both arms out. See, we're nice and stable now. Let's reach both arms up. Good, take your back arm, put it on the top of the chair, and let's lean towards the chair. Now notice that I'm trying to go right to the side the best that I can. I'm not coming forward, not coming back. If your arm doesn't feel comfortable there, we can put your fingers on your shoulders or even your hands on your hips and lean. Any one of those postures is good and gets that stretch through the hip. Good, and let's inhale and come all the way up. Now we're going to take that back leg, we're going to slide it forward, and we're going to take that foot and we're going to put the toe up in the air, okay? So if this is not comfortable for you, you could be with more of a bent knee if you feel more stable there. Or this might be a pose that you don't want to do and you could just do something else. So we're going to hold the base of the chair, hold the arm of the chair, sit up nice and tall, and we're going to lean forward through the V that we've made. We're going to extend one arm out. Feel that stretch in that inner thigh and the hamstring of that front leg. Good, breathe, nice big deep breaths. Relax into that pose. Make sure you're anchored somewhere, you're not hanging out in space. Now, let's come up now. This time we're going to go to the side. So I want you to face forward the best that you can. We're going to take that hand, slide it down. If you're comfortable, notice I'm not going to lock out my knee. If you're comfortable, we're going to go ahead and lean here and reach over the head. Maybe fingers on the shoulders, maybe fingers on the hips, you choose. Reaching, stretching. And then let's come all the way up. So we're going to carefully slide that leg in. And we're going to come, so we're sitting almost all the way side saddle. And notice because of the arms, I can't sit completely side saddle either. That's okay. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. I want you to turn and look behind you. And then let's turn and look the other way. So notice I grabbed the chair, but for some of us that might not be good for our spine. So if you just turn here, that might be enough. Your doctor may have said never leverage a twist, and that's what that is. If I grab my chair and I leverage, that might not be as good for my back. You know your body better than I do. And then bring it back to the center, and let's walk it around to do that other side. So we're sitting side saddle, being mindful of arms or no arms in our chair, right? Bringing that knee down towards the floor, and maybe stopping here, or maybe elongating out if we have a little bit more flexibility. You choose what works best for you. So we're going to turn towards that side. Inhale with the outside arm, reach it up. Good, I'm anchored either on the chair or the base of the chair. I'm going to reach forward, stretch. Elongate through that spine. And then inhale, and we're going to come back and do a tiny bit of a back bend. Shifting your weights, your hips, excuse me, back a little bit. Feel that stretch in that hip flexor. Good, and then let's open it up into that warrior two, ta-da. Beautiful. Good, now inhale, lift, open those arms up to the sky one more time. Remember, a bent elbow is perfectly fine if you don't like to reach anymore, if that doesn't feel good. Some of us can't even reach anymore. All right, so now bring those arms back down. Good. And then let's take that back leg, we're gonna slide it in. We're gonna put that foot on the floor with the toe up towards the ceiling. And we've made it a V essentially with our legs. So we're sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna reach it forward, feeling the stretch in the hamstring and the inner thigh of that opposite leg, or of that front leg. Good, chest is forward, our spine should feel straight. That means ears and shoulders stay in line. I'm not letting my head come down. Not looking at the floor, I'm looking ahead of me. Good, I forgot one thing on the other side, but we'll do a little extra here. So we're gonna reach it up here, grabbing the arm at the back of the chair, and lean here. Feeling the stretch through the sides. We kind of missed that on the other side, so we'll do it here. We did it in a different way on the other side. And then let's stretch that forward. So I turn my chest forward, and I slide that arm down, bring the other arm up and over, not locking out my knee. Stretch it over, feel that good stretch. Inhale and bring it up. We're going to slide that leg forward, bringing it in line with the other leg, sitting up nice and tall. Good, let's turn and twist towards the back of the chair. Bringing it up nice and tall, let's turn and twist the other way. If you grab the chair, be mindful that that's harder on the spine. Let's come back to the center. So I like to do a little bit of something in the middle after we've done so many one-sided things. So let's go ahead and do a little cat and cow here. So we curl through the belly, almost like I socked in the tummy. And then we inhale and we lift and look up. And then exhale and curl. And inhale and lift and look up. Good. All right, let's do two more of those. And last one. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's tuck that chin. Good. All right, and bring that head up. So bring those legs out a little wider. So really right outside of your hip. So we're not this wide where it's outside of the hip, but we're not in narrow either. So it's just right out of the hip. And we're going to come forward. I want you to pause here with me just for a moment. And if you get dizzy easily, if you've had glaucoma surgery, cataract surgery, I don't want you to go any further than this. I want you to just sit here like you're looking over the precipice of the mountain. You're trying to see if there's any mountain goats, right? For those of us that can, we're going to go ahead and come further forward, letting our belly lay on those legs and rolling that head forward. Good. So we brought our head below our heart here. It puts more pressure behind the eyes. Feeling that nice stretch. Maybe we even can take those hands and stretch them out so we get a bigger stretch through that back. And breathe. I want you to think about breathing and pushing your lungs right into your legs. So breathe the big push into those legs. Good. So even if you're elevated and you're not coming all the way down, you can breathe and push the belly towards the thighs one more time. Good. And then let's walk it up, coming all the way up. Good. All right, let's reach those arms out, sitting up nice and tall. Good. Bring those arms in. One arm comes over the top. Give yourself a hug and a pat on the back because you did a good job. Good. Now I want you to sit up tall, shoulders are tucked in, look down at your lap. So you're looking through the hole between your arms and your chest. And inhale, lift. Other arm is going to come over, so reach it out. Other arm comes over. Good. And we're going to grab those shoulders and crunch it forward this time, looking over your arms to look at the floor. Good. And then let's come up. And I feel like I need one more little back stretch here before our final relaxation. So let's come forward. We're going to pause right here. We're going to push with the right arm, look over that left, stretching into that lower back. And bring it back to the center, other side. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Nice stretch in that back. I hope you needed it too. And then let's bring it all the way in. Let's walk it in right here. Let's take those hands and roll them just a little bit like you're cleaning a big bowl. Maybe for 4th of July, you're going to make some potato salad or have some homemade coleslaw. We're going to have to clean the bowl. Up and down with those hands right here. Okay, and then a little open and close, stretch them out. All right, now let's scoot back in our chair, taking our tail feathers and sticking them in between that hole there, or right where the seat and the back come together, and then leaning back, feet are on the floor. Let's just take a moment, close our eyes, and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Relaxing, softening through that body. Taking a minute to just be in our mind and think of things that make us happy, things that make us calm, things that bring us joy. And taking this last minute to just relax. Let's slowly bring our focus back into the room, but hold on to those peaceful feelings, those calm feelings. Good. Let's take a big deep breath. Inhale. Lifting those hands up to prayer. Those prayer hands come down to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me today in chair yoga in the art room. I hope you enjoyed the class, that you feel stretched and energized and ready for whatever today brings. I look forward to seeing you again soon in another location. Namaste.